Justin Jefferson we just start there. Massive contract for Justin Jefferson, 5-year deal, $160 million or 4 years for 126, whatever you want to count, $35 million. DK, any thoughts on Justin Jefferson getting this contract beyond? No, he's good. That's what it costs.
Yeah. That was my thought.
All right, great.
No, he's really good. He's one of the best non-quarterback players in the NFL. Now he's being paid like that. So it just kind of makes sense. I don't know. It is interesting how dramatically the receiver contracts have grown in the last 10 years relative to almost every other position other than quarterback. It's like quarterbacks and receivers, their contracts are blowing up right now. I thought
they're like the cost of college or weddings or something.
Yeah, it's funny.
Houses.
I'm not saying Justin Jefferson is not worth the amount of money that he is receiving, but do you guys think that what's the guaranteed money? I mean, he's getting $35 million a year, but not really. What is he actually getting paid? What's the guaranteed money Justin Jefferson is receiving?
He's going to get $100 million over the next 3 years. He's going to get $126 million over 4 years. That is the contract.
Part of me is kind of like, man, that's a lot. It's like the NBA rights negotiations. I'm like, that is a ton of money for somebody. I mean, when they had Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson, they weren't that good. And now they have JJ McCarthy and Justin Jefferson making $100 million guaranteed. And I'm like, I get that you don't want to lose him, but maybe I'm kind of just thinking when you need to pay a receiver during the perfect window when you think your team has the best shot of winning. Otherwise, this is just a really expensive, great player on a team that is not going to make the playoffs.
So for context, and again, to some degree, a lot of the money is it's a percentage of revenue and the NFL keeps making more money. So if you're wondering why the contracts go up, it's because the NFL makes more money. I will say two things though, to your point, Craig. One, Devontae Smith for the Eagles, also at a contract extension. The Eagles crushed this. Devontae Smith will make less money in the first 4 years of his deal than Justin Jefferson will make in the first 2 years. So Devontae Smith basically is making half. Also, Andrew Brandt, who was the former finance guy for the Green Bay Packers, pointed out, Justin Jefferson's going to make $35 million a year. DK, the Packers' 10 receivers will make a combined $12 million this year.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, that's because they did a really good job of drafting receivers. I always look at this Craig, first of all, I understand where you're coming from, but what is the best thing you can get for a young quarterback? It's an elite difference-making receiver. So this makes all the sense in the world to me. They had to keep him.
I mean, look, I agree. I would have done this if I am the Vikings GM. I think this is the right move, but you are a little bit, it's like the Jaylen Brown contract for the Celtics where you're you kind of have to do it, but it's still so much money that you feel a little bad still.
That's how I feel about Jalen Waddle with Jaylen Brown, where it's the Justin Jefferson is Luka. He's one of the best players in the NBA.
Right.
And I look at, maybe you're saying because he's a receiver, but I look at the Dolphins giving Jalen Waddle 3 years for $90 million. And I'm that's Jaylen Brown. I'm the best receiver on his own team. Tyreek Hill needs more money now. That I think with Jefferson, though, to your point, Craig, and to someone, I forget who pointed this out, but Justin Jefferson's averaging 98 yards per game, which if he retired right now would literally be the highest mark of all time ever in a career.
Wild.
But the flip side is Austin Gale pointed this out to me that Justin Jefferson is really important to me that he wanted to be the highest paid non-quarterback, to which I then realized to just blatantly steal from Bill Simmons, what's the non-quarterback belt? That should be a thing. Who's the best non-quarterback in the league? Mm-hmm. Aaron Donald's had that for 7 years in a row. Who's the best, forget money, who's the best non-quarterback football player? It's been Aaron Donald. And now that he's out of the league, is Justin Jefferson the best non-quarterback? Because he wasn't comparing himself to other receivers. Justin Jefferson wanted to beat Nick Bosa as the highest paid non-quarterback. I'm curious, DK, who you think the best non-quarterback is in the NFL.
Well, DK, if you had to start a franchise and you have first pick in the draft and you can't draft a quarterback, who are you taking?
I mean, that is the most impossible question to answer. I think Justin Jefferson, just to skirt the question a little bit, is certainly in that discussion. I think you have to talk about some of the best pass rushers in the NFL, of course. You have to talk about some of the best left tackles in the NFL. That's boring. Line play, trenches. You know what I mean? Receivers are sexy. They make big plays. They score touchdowns. So I don't know. I'm saying Justin Jefferson is certainly in that conversation. Just, pound for pound best player. I think he certainly deserves to be in that conversation. It would be a fun exercise.
It's Devontae Smith. That guy weighs.
Did you see? There was a lot of reports about last year the Vikings offered him $28 million a year. He said no, and he bet on himself, and now he's making $35 million a year. I love that phrase, bet on yourself. Does that just mean he didn't tear his Achilles? What does that mean? Because he actually got hurt last year and he missed 7 games. And I don't really know what that means.
That's a good call.
he bet on himself and won. I'm like, so he just like stayed alive? I don't understand what he did last year.
Do you remember that thing about Joe Biden in the 2020 election where they just need his corporeal body?
Yeah.
And it's just like you just need Justin Jefferson's body.
Like I think he's like the only player to have over 1,000 yards while playing like less than half of a season or something crazy. So he's still amazing last year. But I love because usually when they say bet on yourself, the fear is like don't get hurt. But he did get hurt and still got way more money. So I don't know. Funny.
Yeah, it's like Dak Prescott bet on himself, and then like his ankle came apart on the field,
and then he still got paid
anyway.
Yeah, it's like I don't know.
I'm like, all right, cool, sure, but yeah, then also all the receivers got paid basically. Nico Collins got a 4-year deal for like $75 million. Tyreek Hill, I think, is probably definitely. I actually kind of think Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson are the tier. I almost think Tyreek Hill might be better per game. Obviously, Justin Jefferson.
Well, yeah,
5 years younger.
That's actually, I think this is an interesting component to the Justin Jefferson contract story is like what happens now with Tyreek Hill, because he said famously a couple of years ago, I want to say, like once his contract is up, he's retiring. He said that. And so that
did Floyd Mayweather for like 11 fights in a row. Right.
That was what I was getting to. I'm like, I don't actually think he's going to retire. Like I think he's going to get paid like a ludicrous amount of money. So anyways, I think that's another interesting domino that will fall eventually.
Did you guys see that Stephon Diggs is now going to be wearing number 1 on the Texans? Did you see that?
Oh, what do you think of their new unis?
They're okay. I think all these jerseys are becoming too like sleek and modern, and they're like losing character.
I don't know why the uniform thing's so hard. Just make cool uniforms.
Honestly, I agree.
It's because all the colors are like trademarked. It's ridiculous.
You know what Netflix is like? We're gonna start making good movies. It's like just like make better uniforms. I don't really understand.
Actually, Houston's like almost like a navy blue. I like that. I think it looks good.
If we failed on one thing, we have not talked enough about how the MLB, the players' pants don't fit.
Yeah,
like that their pants don't like you can see through their pants and the pants rip, which are like the only two things you need out of pants. Like none of these uniform companies can make uniforms.
I kind of feel like a receiver choosing a lower number is like their version of like when an actor is getting older and they start to get like fillers and like a facelift. Like if you're like 85 and you switch to like number 1, it's like clearly a cry for help because you're turning 30.
I'm not fast. I'm not fast anymore, but it's going to make me look faster.
Yeah.
BBL, it's BB1 for Diggs.
Yeah, it's like they're choosing a number in the teens because they want to be a teen. Yeah.
That's good.
Guys, news just happened as we were talking. Christian McCaffrey resets the running back market, 2-year extension with 49ers, $19 million per year, according to Adam Schefter. So there's that.
So like almost like a little more than half of what Justin Jefferson makes.
So Nico Collins.
Yeah, he gets Nico Collins. I will say it
sucks to be a running back. Yeah,
it's crazy that the Eagles signed Saquon Barkley for less than Gabe Davis got, and then have
Smith
that's
brutal
down for half of what Justin Jefferson went for. So yeah,
good for Christian
McCaffrey, Nico Collins.